Hello, this video is going to be all about the performance analysis of Quickshot or the time complexity of Quickshot. So the time complexity depends on the partitioning algorithm, and whatever is the input, we have some input and we are going to apply partitioning algorithm on that input. And how the partitioning is going to be, is it going to be balanced partitioning or is it going to be an unbalanced partitioning? That totally depends on what is the input value. For example, in worst case, if we have input like ascending order, in descending order, or if we have same elements in the input, then this is going to be worst case, because in that case we will get more time. We will take more time. Quickshot will take more time in order to sort that input in ascending order or descending order, or when we have same elements, because this becomes an unbalanced partitioning. When we have input in these three forms, then the partitioning becomes unbalanced. Let's see how quicksort algorithm works. Initially we have 6 elements here, and then 40 is taken as pivot. I have taken 40 as pivot. We can take 19 also, and initially we have 3 pointers. First one is the pivot itself. The another pointer will be j pointer, which we will be taking to compare with pivot element. Another pointer will be I. J is initially pointing at index 0, that is 19. Another pointer is I, which is at -1, which is 1 less than j. So I will be -1, j will be pointing at 0, and pivot element, that is 6, pointing at the index 6. Algorithm says that, quicksort algorithm says that each time you have to compare the j element at the j position with the pivot element. If the element at the j position is lesser than the pivot, then increment the value of I and then exchange the values of I and j. And if that is not lesser, if the element at the j position is not lesser than the pivot element, then it might be greater, right? So if it is greater, then don't do anything. Increment the value of j and increment the value of j and compare it with the pivot element. Compare the another element with the pivot. If the value at the j position is greater than pivot, here it is lesser, so we'll have to exchange, increment the value of I and then exchange the value of I and j. So 19 is greater than 40, so we'll increment the value of I and then exchange the values of I and j. I was at -1, j is at 0, so 19 is lesser than 40. Then we have to increment the value of I and j are pointing at the same index now, that is 0. So exchange the values of 0, like 19 and 19. Exchanging values at 19 and 19 will result in the same index. Now j will be incremented and the another value is 32, which is going to be compared with 40. 32 is lesser than 40. Then increment the value of I is pointing at 19, and then exchange the values of I and j. I was pointing at 19, I will be pointing at 32 after incrementing, and then I and j, exchanging the values of I and j means that we are exchanging 32 with 32, will get again the same array. 12 will be again compared with 40, then 12 is also smaller, so we'll be exchanging this same part, 12 and 12, so we'll get the same array, and then j will be incremented. The next element to be compared with 40 is 48, or the pivot is 48. 48 is greater than 40. Now we don't increment the value of I is pointing at 12, but we got 48, which is greater than 40, so we are not going to increment the value of I, and then increment the value of j and compare the another element, which is 64. Now 64 is compared with 40, 64 is greater, and also we have reached to n-1. So when we reach this part, we have to exchange the values of I plus 1 and pivot value. So I was here at 12, since we got 48 and we had not incremented it because 48 was greater than 40. So I was at 12. Now we'll be exchanging, because we have reached to this part, and if the size of the array is n, then this is 1 less than n, so this is n-1. So when we reach this part, we have to exchange I plus 1 and pivot value. I plus 1 is going to be 48, then 48 and 40 will be exchanged. After exchanging 48 and 40, we have got this array. Now this is the pivot value which is at its correct position. Pivot value is going to have the elements at the left side and the right side in the partition form, like it is partitioned in two parts, and the elements lying to the left part of the pivot value is smaller, all the values are smaller than pivot, and the right side elements should be greater, and it is greater. So 40 is at its correct position. Now we'll have to again quick short this left part and then quick short this right part. And then after sorting this, we'll get 64 and 48, and when we short this, then it will also be sorted in some correct order like 12, 19, 32. After we apply quick short and after we take 12 as pivot here, we'll get the like sorted result. So this is how quicksort works. It divides the array, it takes element as pivot, and it is going to divide the element into two parts. Now we'll see what is unbalanced partitioning. So this is the array, okay. And now for an unbalanced partitioning, that happens the worst case because it is going to take more time. This is the input which is in ascending order, and 15 is taken as pivot initially. Now according to the algorithm of partition and of quick sort, it is going to be sorted in, it will give the same result since it is already sorted in ascending order, and there will be 3 pointers initially. The first one will be pointing at j, we will be pointing at 10, and the pivot element that is pointing at 15, we have taken 15 as pivot, and the first this is j value, so first index or maybe the 0 index, and I will be pointing at -1. Now j and pivot is compared. 10 is lesser than pivot, then you increment the value of I and exchange I and j. So this will give the same array. Again j will be incremented and 11 will be compared with 15, and then I and j again will be pointing at the same index. Since 11 is lesser than 15, then we'll increment the value of I, then I will come here, and then I and j will be exchanged and will result in the same array. Then after 11 is done, increment the pointer of j value, increment the j pointer, and then 12 and 15 will be compared. Since 12 is lesser than 15, increment the value of I and exchange the values of I and j. Will give the same array. Again 13 will be compared, 14 will be compared. Since both of them are, all of these are smaller than 15, 15 will remain at its same position. So this is 15 is sorted now. We are not going to touch this because this pivot is now at its correct position, and this 15 their pivot element is the element where the elements lying to the left side of the pivot are all the smaller than pivot, and the elements lying to the right side of pivot are greater than it. Here we have 15 as the greatest element, so it is on the rightmost side, and it has divided this 15, has partitioned this into two parts, where we have this part where we are having 5 elements. In the left part of 15 we have 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, but in right part we don't have any element. So this partitioning has produced two sub problem, that is 0 and n-1. So if this whole array is n, then this 15 is already sorted, and the next sub problem, because we are not going to touch 15, so next sub problem is n-1, because we have, if this is n, there are like 6 elements, so 15 is already sorted. So now we are left with 5 elements, because 15 is the pivot and it is already sorted, and we are not going to touch this. Again quicksort will be applied on left and right part. Since in this example we don't have right part, so it will be performed in the left part. Again 14 will be taken as pivot. But the thing here I want to say is that this array is being divided into two halves. One is having 0, that is in the right part 0 elements, and the left part is having 5 elements, that is n-1 elements, because in total if this we say this is an n array size is n, then these are the elements, that is n-1 elements. So this is n-1. From here to here we got n-1 elements, and here we have 0 elements. Since we are not having any elements to the right of 15, so we have 0 elements here, and we have 5 elements here. So if this array size is n, so we have n-1 elements here, because 15 is already sorted and we are not going to touch this. So we have 0 elements to the right side and n minus 1 elements to the left side. So we are now left with two sub problems that we have to solve. This we don't care about it because it is not going to take any time or anything. Time taken by to sort zero element is what? It is going to be always zero. We don't consider this. Now we'll be considering this because it will take some time to solve. So it is going to take n minus 1 time. So this is the time complexity, n minus 1, and to sort this zero element we are going to take nothing, no time, like 0, and to sort this part we are going to take n minus 1. Now we were done with till this 15. Now in another step 14 is taken as pivot, and then 10 is compared with 14, then 11, 12, and same thing is going to happen because all of them are smaller than 14, and if the values are smaller, if the pointer at j value is having smaller values than the pivot value, then we are going to increment the values of I, and j will in the all cases will be pointing at the same index. And if we are going to exchange the values of the same index, we'll get the same array. In each cases there will be same thing, like I is pointing at -1 and j is pointing at 0. J is compared with 14, j is lesser than 10 is lesser than 14, so increment the value of I, then I will also be pointing at 0 and j is also pointing at 0, then both will be exchanged, matlab 10 and 10 will be exchanged, so we are getting same array. Okay, and we'll have the same thing for all of the rest of the elements. Now we are left with n minus 2. Since we were getting here 15 as sorted, now we are getting 14 also as sorted. So now we are left with n minus 2 elements because we were having initially 6 elements. Now from that 6 we have sorted 2 elements. So we are left with 4 elements, that is 6 minus 2, that is 4 elements. If n is 6, then we are left with 4 elements because 6 minus 2 should be 4, and we are getting 4 elements here, right? And to the right of 14 again we don't have any element because 14 was only the one which was greater among these, and 15 was already sorted. So now this again is going to the same time complexity, like n minus 1 and 0, because we are taking here as 0. This 14 has right side value which is 0. See the pivot element, wherever the pivot element is, the left side values would be always be greater than the pivot value, and the right side elements will be always greater than pivot value, and pivot will come at its correct position. This is the unbalanced partitioning because we are having 0 element, and in each case we will have 0 element, and also there will be some time taken. We have taken 14 as pivot, now we'll be taking 13, then 12, and in this way each of them will have the same recurrence equation. This is going to be the recurrence relation, and also in each case there will be some time taken. This is going to be the partitioning cost of partitioning by the elements, because we are going to compare with till the last from the starting, so it is going to take order of n time for that. So we are adding that time here, n time, and once we solve this using substitution method, once we solve this using substitution method, we are going to get this order of n square. So this is how worst case is going to be order of n square, because this is the time complexity when we are left with these elements after sorting these many elements. So this is going to take some time, and this is 0 because this is not going to take any time, and there will be some partitioning cost, that is n. And if you solve this using substitution method, you will get this. Now same thing is going to be happen with this when the input is in descending order, or when the input are same, having same elements. So for example, if I take descending order, then take 10 or 15, either 10 or either 15 as pivot. Let me take 10 as pivot, then I will be pointing at -1, j will be pointing at 0, then 15 is compared with 10, 15 is greater than 10, then there will be no change, increment the value of I is pointing here, and again 14 is greater than 10, there will be no change. Sorry, we are not incrementing the value of I here, we were incrementing the value of j here. So j and pivot is compared, greater, there will be no change. 13 will be compared, greater, there will be no change. And same when we reach this part, then we have to exchange the values of I plus 1 and pivot. So I was at -1, I plus 1 will be 0, means 15. Now 15 and 10 will be exchanged. Now 10 has come to its correct position. Okay, so in this way we are going to do that, and we'll again be coming up with this equation and we'll get this, and same will be the case with these elements, these values. So that's it about the worst case analysis, and I hope that it has helped you.